Hello and welcome back. Today I'm going to rebuild some brakes without spending $1. So the test subject for today's shenanigans is again the Pink Panther Galant. Plenty of videos of this car on the channel where I've been working on it for a couple of years now. Today previously I'd rebuilt the rear brakes and today I'm going to, and I thought I'd had all the brakes working, but the fronts are locked up, as you can see. When I was bleeding all the brakes, I then went to roll the car and realised that she won't roll because these brakes have seized. So what I think's happened, well, there's a couple of ways that this can happen. There's a piston back here, and then there's a slide along here. If either of those seize up, then this thing holds onto the pads infinitely. The pads hold onto the disc infinitely and it doesn't work. So today I'm going to pull it all apart and rebuild it. I'll just provide a quick explanation of how the braking system works. 20 seconds just so this all makes sense. This is the brake master cylinder here. It's connected to the pedal which is inside the car. So when you put your foot on the brake pedal, it pushes a rod through the firewall and into the brake master cylinder here, which has a plunger or a piston which moves through the body of this and then pushes brake fluid through these brake lines to each of the brakes. So at the rear there's drum brakes on this car. They share a single line, and the fronts have disc brakes and they have a single line that goes to each one. So when you put your foot on the brake pedal, it forces fluid along these lines here, through the rubber line, into this brake caliper, and in this body here there's a big piston and there's a rubber seal, and when you put your foot on the pedal it forces fluid in here, pushes the piston out, which pushes these pads on either side against this disc here. There's a lot of varying designs of how it works, but all modern disc brakes use the same principle. Some of them will have a whole bunch of pistons on both sides of the caliper. Some of them have tons, some of them have one, some of them have two. It doesn't really matter. They all use the same principle. And they're all varying in complexity. These are extremely basic and simple, which is good. And that's why I'm pretty sure that I'll be able to pull them apart and fix them for free. So what I think's happening here with the seized, I think that the piston is seized in the bore here, and it's possible that the slide, which moves the caliper backwards and forwards, it's possible that caliper is also frozen, the slide. But we'll get to that in a minute. I'm going to start pulling it apart. So this is your brake caliper. The slides I was talking about, you can see them. There's a steel rod which goes into there, and there's another one here which goes into there. And in the caliper, it needs to be able to move backwards and forwards on that, and you can see that it actually is. So this one, the slides on this one aren't seized, which is going to make this a little bit easier. It's just the piston which is seized in the bore. There's a couple of ways of getting it out. I've seen people use compressed air. So you'll pull the brake line out here, and you'll put 100 psi of compressed air on the backside and pop this out. It works. I think a little bit more controlled is to use the brake fluid to do it. Since this brake system is already bled, very easy just to pump the pedal, and then this piston's slowly going to come out. So that's what I'll do. It's just it's a lot more controlled. You're not putting 100 psi on the backside of it and creating a projectile. And I don't know, I think it's probably going to be gentler on the rubber seal inside, because I don't want to be replacing the rubber seal and the piston if I can get away with it. It's just going to depend on how much corrosion is in the bore and is on the piston. But I'll go pump the pedal a bit and we'll see if this piston comes out. There it goes. Check out how nasty it is in there. You see a huge build-up of sludge at the back. That's old brake fluid. That's pretty gross. You can see the rubber seal. Hopefully it's savable. Anyway, I'm going to get this cleaned up a little bit and get some of the muck out of there. I'll have a look at it. Let's get this dust boot removed. There's a spring on the outside here which retains the boot. There it is. Look at that. That's gross. Pretty nasty surface in there. Just feeling it with my finger, there's a lot of it feels like just debris. Like, I don't know, it almost feels like bits of sand or something. It's really weird. But I guess it could be brake fluid that's gone hard. Pretty gross. But the key to this whole operation is the condition of this bore, the condition of the piston, and the condition of that rubber seal. Now, the piston and the rubber seal you can replace, but I don't want to do that if I don't have to. The beauty of this old stuff is it's super rebuildable. Like on a modern car, forget about doing this job. You'd be replacing the caliper every time. But on these old girls, this is a 1976 Galant. This stuff was made to last, which is awesome. Like, you just look at the Gregory's workshop manual or the whatever, and everything's rebuildable on these things. They even tell you how to rebuild the starter motor and the alternator. Like, forget about that on a new car. All right, I'm going to try and get this very gently, get that seal out of there. See a black line, like about a quarter of the way, or a third of the way back. That's the rubber seal that seals the piston to bore, which makes the whole thing work. So I need to get that out there and have a look at its condition. That's it, got it. So that's the seal. It's amazing that it still feels soft and rubbery. Like, it's probably been in there for, how old's the car? 48 years or something? Is that right? 49 years? Yeah. It's probably been in there for 49 years. and it's still soft and rubbery. Feels good. I'll be able to reuse this, no worries at all. Now it's just a matter of cleaning up in there. We'll give the piston a good look over. That's fine. Yeah, some corrosion along this edge here, but that edge never goes anywhere near the seal. The seal rides along here, so I'll just clean that up. Right, we can use that degreaser as a bit of a lubricant. I'm going to give it a hone job now to clean that bore out. And to do that, you just use a little brake cylinder hone. Very cheap tool. Just nice and slowly, in and out. We're not trying to really remove any material, we just want to remove contaminants. Just any of that old crusty brake fluid, which would have been what would have been holding up the piston. Of course, we want that piston to bore clearance to be as tight as possible, but not sticky. This is that little bit of corrosion just around the edge there. It's got some 600 grit here. Just concentrating on this edge here, because maybe that was the bit that was hanging up in the bore. You don't really need to get on this face at all. This face it feels beautiful. And look at that. Cycles in and out beautifully. All cleaned up. So that's the bore all cleaned up. Looks good. Piston looks good too. No problems at all there. So now just reassemble it all. Get the rubber seal back in. Like I said before, the fact that this stuff is a rubber good and almost 50 years old, and it's perfectly serviceable again, is wild. Put a bit of brake fluid on the piston before putting it back in. Hilarious. Now that just to show that it's working, I can't get the piston in because the rubber's in and the bleeder nipple's closed. So it's proof of concept, but I'll open that bleeder when I can find my 10mm. Joking, not joking. Where is it? There it is. So yeah, proof of concept. I'll open the bleed nipple and this piston will slide straight back. There it goes. Every tool's a hammer if you want it to be. The old man used to say, if it can't be fixed with a hammer, it can't be fixed. That's why we can make every tool into a hammer. Now we've got the wheel bearing back, the wheel bearings in, disc back on, and all that's nipped up. Can now put the outer caliper body back on. Right, now you can see there's a big gap here between the piston and the disc, and then a smaller gap here. What that means is that the whole caliper body is slid back on the slides. So in order to get the pads in here and here, we're going to need to slide the caliper body back this way along those slides. But while it's in this position here all the way across, you want to get some anti-seize and just dab it on these two slides there. So I'm going to do that now quickly. But it's good stuff. So just a dab of it down there on that slide. And then that one there as well. All right. Look how beautiful that slides. Alright, these are brand new brake pads. So technically money has been spent. But it's only because this is a project car. I want it to drive right. I want the brakes to perform perfectly. But like the old brake pads are basically brand new. They're just as thick as the new ones, but they've been sitting, they're probably, you know, I don't know how old they are, 20, 30, 40 years old. So no harm in replacing them. But Right, so that's that. That's how you rebuild your caliper for no dollars and no cents. Speaking of getting on, I'm going to get on with bleeding these brakes and continuing on with this project. Thanks for watching. See you next time.